Chosen one, stop scrolling immediately. Do not move past this message. You did not stumble upon this by accident. Heaven just intercepted your feed at this exact second, and the spiritual warfare you have been fighting in absolute silence is officially over. Someone who treated your pure heart as completely replaceable is currently crashing. They thought their dark manipulation in the shadows would remain hidden forever. They thought you would permanently collapse when you walked away. But heaven just handed their secret files directly over to the ultimate cosmic judge, and they are now experiencing a massive spiritual penalty. They are panicking in secret, and that is the exact reason they can no longer look you in the eye. If you leave this video now, you will forfeit the exact prophetic blueprint of their public downfall. Lock your attention deeply on my voice right now. Your divine vindication is finally here, and it is glorious. But before I reveal the undeniable proof of their collapse, we must take a moment to look at the heavy weight you have been carrying. I know your shoulders are incredibly tight right now. I see you waking up at 3 in the morning with a racing heart. The room feels heavy while you stare at the dark ceiling. Your mind spins with endless questions, and you feel an exhausting brain fog that makes it hard to focus. You push through your day. You offer a bright smile. You do this while your own spirit is completely gasping for air. People tell you it is just normal stress, and you need to rest. It is not normal stress. I see the tears you cry in the absolute silence of your room, because you have been functioning as a human battery for people who never truly valued your light. They simply consumed your magnificent energy. You thought you were just tired or losing your edge. You blamed yourself for the constant exhaustion and the financial blockages. You thought you were failing because your reality was not shifting, and you assumed it was your fault. But this was never a normal misunderstanding between two people. This is a very real spiritual war targeting your frequency. They did not target you because you were weak or easily broken. They targeted you because your magnificent kindness is a spiritual weapon. They are absolutely terrified of a genuine empath. You walked into the room, and your high-frequency aura instantly exposed their rotting souls to the entire world while they tried to hide. They had to drain you so they could feel powerful. You gave them your absolute best, and they returned it with silent betrayal. You forgave them when they did not even ask for a simple apology. And because of that immense drain, you have felt completely stuck in a heavy winter where nothing seems to grow, despite your daily efforts. The fatigue in your bones is a direct result of this massive energetic theft. Your inner light was violently suppressed. You are the ultimate cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. You carry the heavy responsibility of breaking generational curses of poverty and deep depression. This is why the spiritual attacks against you have been so incredibly relentless. The enemy knows that if you rise up and claim your power, your entire family line is permanently freed from their toxic grip. They desperately needed you to stay confused and trapped in a low frequency. They wanted you to doubt your own sanity and question your divine intuition. But your spirit is highly advanced, and it easily detects every single lie they tell behind your back while they pretend to be your friend. That heavy feeling in your chest is actually your spiritual alarm system screaming the truth. You are not crazy, and you are definitely not imagining things. The sheer exhaustion you feel is the physical evidence of this unseen battle. You have been holding the line against dark forces that want to steal your destiny. But heaven has stepped in to orchestrate a massive divine interception on your behalf, and the tables are finally turning today. This is why you have felt an overwhelming block in every area of your life. The narcissist took your peace, but the matrix took something even deeper. Before we dive deeper into their impending punishment, I want to plant a seed in your mind. There is something massive hidden from the public right now, and it is something the elite are actively hiding from you. This secret was discovered not in a motivational book, It was found inside a classified laboratory. It is a biological secret funded by billionaires and verified by top-tier neuroscience. It finally explains something I know you have felt deep in your soul. It perfectly explains the frustrating gap between the wealth you visualize and the reality you wake up to. You have prayed for a sudden breakthrough and a massive billionaire shift, but the answer has felt completely out of reach no matter how much you sacrifice and give to others in your daily life. I will reveal exactly what this biological block is before we finish today. But first, you must hold this one critical question in your mind as we expose the enemy. What if your struggle to attract abundance is not a lack of hustle? What if it is a dormant frequency waiting to be switched on? Keep that thought deeply anchored in your spirit, because we are going to uncover exactly why the narcissist is currently shaking in absolute fear. Now we must go deeper because what you are feeling right now is not new. Listen closely to me. There is a physical reason your reality has not shifted yet. You have been carrying a tremendous burden for years, and your mind is constantly racing to fix problems that you did not even create while your own life stands still, and it is completely destroying your inner peace. Stop scrolling immediately. Your physical body is reacting to this truth right now, isn't it? You can feel the tightness releasing from your chest simply by hearing these words. That is because your highly advanced spirit knows it is finally being seen. The heavy brain fog you experience every afternoon is absolutely not your fault, because it is a direct biological response to the relentless spiritual attacks you have endured. You have been told to just push through and work harder. The Matrix wants you to ignore the exhaustion, but heaven sees exactly how much you have endured in secret. If your spirit confirms this raw truth, gently press the like button to seal your energetic alignment with heaven. Your physical action today completely locks the door against their lies. Here is the brutal truth the elite do not want you to know. The reason the universe responds to the 1% and leaves you struggling is not hard work. It is not because they visualize better or pray harder than you do. It is entirely biological. Deep inside your brain is a tiny region called the hippocampus. In the insanely wealthy, this specific region is highly developed. It is constantly broadcasting a microscopic frequency that literally pulls money and luck toward them like a vacuum. But for the chosen one who has been under spiritual attack, the reality is much darker and incredibly unfair. You inherited a biological disadvantage from a broken system. Science calls it a shrunken hippocampus. Instead of broadcasting a wealth frequency, your tired brain is trapped broadcasting a survival wave, and the modern world is designed to keep it exactly that way. Every time you stress over money or toxic people, this tiny region shrinks a little more. Your natural ability to attract abundance is pushed into dormancy. This is why you can read every self-help book and practice manifestation for years with zero results. You are trying to manifest wealth while your internal receiver is completely powered down. You end up chasing money endlessly. Meanwhile, the elite simply let it flow to them effortlessly because their biological foundation is fully active and protected. It is a biological block passed down through generations to quietly sabotage your highest potential. Most people will go to their graves believing they just did not work hard enough. But you are not most people. And remember the question I asked you to hold a few minutes ago, the one about your struggle being a dormant frequency? You are about to see that the answer is completely scientifically proven. The narcissist who drained you actually sensed this dormant power inside you. They knew your receiver was turned off due to constant stress, so they moved in to extract whatever pure energy you had left. They fed on your survival wave because they are absolute parasites. Every time they made you doubt yourself, your survival wave grew stronger, causing your hippocampus to shrink a little more under the heavy weight of their daily manipulation. They literally manipulated your biology to keep you trapped in their toxic game. They needed you to stay confused so you would never step into your true spiritual power. But your silent endurance was never a sign of weakness, because you were simply a prepared vessel going through an intense season of pruning before your final elevation. Your silence was a highly calculated strike that permanently severed their energetic fuel supply. And now they are completely starving. The sudden loss of your pure light has left them incredibly disoriented and weak. You thought you were isolated because you did something wrong. You felt rejected by the very people you tried to heal and protect. But your deep isolation is absolutely not a punishment from the universe. It is a strict divine quarantine orchestrated to protect your priceless energy. Heaven had to completely remove them from your life before activating your true inheritance. You are a rare diamond that was buried under years of heavy dirt. The Matrix tried to convince you that you were just ordinary rocks. They wanted you to accept a life of endless struggle and minimal rewards. But the deep ache in your soul always knew you were meant for massive abundance. You just needed the biological key to unlock it. This intense season of isolation was required to clear your energetic field. The toxic people had to be pushed out so your survival wave could finally begin to calm down. We are going to reveal exactly how heaven is dealing with those who hurt you. But you must understand that your healing is the ultimate weapon against their dark agenda. Let me completely reframe your entire reality right here and now. This was never just a normal misunderstanding. This is a very real spiritual war. The narcissist who drained your energy is an active agent of the Matrix, sent to keep you asleep. They were strategically placed in your life to monitor your powerful frequency. Think back over these recent weeks of your life. Have you noticed how they actively avoid looking directly into your eyes? They shift their gaze. They look at the floor. They pretend to be suddenly busy with something else. They do this because your eyes carry the pure white light of a genuine empath, and that blinding light is absolutely unbearable for a soul that lives in the dark. They are absolutely terrified of what they see when they look at you. When a narcissist looks at you, they do not just see another human being. They see a massive spiritual mirror. It reflects their rotting emptiness right back at them. This terrifying reflection forces them to face the ugly truth, and they quickly realize they can no longer hide their dark intentions from your pure light. For years you functioned as a human battery for these empty vessels. You gave them your warmth. You offered them your endless patience. You tried to heal their deep wounds with your unconditional love, but they never actually wanted to be healed by your light, because they only wanted to consume your magnificent energy so they could mask their miserable reality. Now that you have finally pulled your energy back, they are starving. They wake up in a cold sweat. They feel an overwhelming sense of dread. They realize they have permanently lost their primary source of spiritual fuel. They are shattering in secret because their fake empire is beginning to fall apart in real time without your energy holding it together. They thought you were weak and easy to manipulate. They assumed your kindness was a permanent flaw they could exploit forever. But here is the spiritual blind spot they did not account for. You were never the poor victim trying to survive their heavy rain. You were the magnificent storm all along, and they have finally realized they just woke up the powerful sleeping giant inside your soul. This brings us to a critical distinction that escapes the vast majority. The narcissist is merely a foot soldier in a much larger war. The Matrix deployed them to keep you distracted and drained. They needed you to focus entirely on personal drama and emotional pain. If you are busy fighting toxic people, you will never have the energy to uncover the biological secret they desperately hid from you. You are a master of reality who forgot how powerful you actually are. The enemy knows your true potential even when you highly doubt it. That is exactly why they send their best manipulators to surround you. They want to keep your frequency anchored in fear. This is a highly calculated strategy to completely suppress your natural wealth attraction abilities, so you remain permanently trapped in their system. When you look into their eyes now, they immediately look away. They can literally feel the divine acceleration beginning to happen in your life. They sense the ancient chains breaking off your weary shoulders. They know their time is up. The heavy karma they sent your way is violently returning to their doorstep, and they have absolutely no shield left to protect themselves. They are aging rapidly under the crushing weight of their own malice. You step into your untouchable glow while they wither away in the shadows. They try to wear a confident mask in public, but behind closed doors they are entirely consumed by deep paranoia because they know the universe has issued a final verdict against their toxic behavior. Let us uncover the hidden mechanism that triggered all these attacks. Why did the Matrix send this specific person to drain your finances and your joy? It goes back to that dormant frequency we talked about earlier. The elite know that a chosen one who heals their biological receiver will effortlessly siphon massive wealth away from the corrupt system. So they sent the narcissist to keep your hippocampus shrunken and weak. They used emotional abuse as a biological weapon against your success. Every argument and every silent treatment was designed to keep your survival wave active. You were fighting for love, but they were fighting to keep your internal wealth magnet permanently switched off, so you would never rise above your current financial struggles. But their ultimate plan has completely failed today. You are finally waking up to the massive spiritual physics of this situation. You are no longer playing their little games of emotional tug-of-war. You have ascended to a much higher vantage point. You now see them for the pathetic parasites they truly are, and you will never let them drain your sacred energy again. Do not let your logical brain hesitate for even a single second. The shift has already begun in the unseen realm around you. But we must address the massive delay in your financial harvest. I am going to show you how heaven is reframing your current struggles, because you must understand why this long period of waiting was absolutely necessary for your ultimate victory. I know you have looked at your bank account and felt completely defeated. You have worked harder than anyone else around you. You pour your entire heart into everything you do, and yet you watch the wicked prosper while your own harvest seems permanently delayed. It feels deeply unfair. It looks like heaven forgot about you, but the delay was never an absence of divine favor. Your hidden years were not empty years. They were fallow years. The difference between those two words is massive. When a farmer wants to yield a record-breaking crop, he must let the ground rest. He stops planting and lets the soil sit in absolute silence. People walking by might think the field is completely dead, but a profound shift is happening deep underground while the earth prepares for unprecedented growth. This is exactly what the universe is doing with your life right now. You are not being punished for your past mistakes. You are not failing because you lack talent or divine purpose. Heaven is simply building your capacity. You are being rigorously trained to handle a level of wealth that would completely crush a normal person. The elite know this truth. They understand the power of resting season while they wait for their investments to multiply in secret. If God handed you $1 billion while your biological receiver was still trapped in survival mode, you would lose everything. The stress would destroy your nervous system. The toxic people would quickly swarm you and drain your new resources. So heaven placed you in a strict divine quarantine. The massive financial blockages were actually protective walls. You are being forged into a kingdom financier. You are destined to fund massive movements and heal your entire bloodline. But a kingdom financier must have an unshakable foundation. The enemy tried to convince you that this waiting period was a permanent curse. They want you to give up right before the finish line, because they know your breakthrough will destroy their control. Do not let their lies infect your spirit. Type Amen in the comments right now as a prophetic act of agreement to lock this frequency. Your simple physical action of typing that word is a binding spiritual contract. It tells the unseen realm that you fully accept your season of preparation. You are no longer fighting the process. You are the ultimate cycle breaker, and your silent obedience today is shattering the ancient chains of poverty, holding your family down. The matrix cannot stand a chosen one who finally understands their true worth. When you embrace this resting season, you completely cut off the narcissist. They thrive on your anxiety and your constant striving. When you stop hustling and start resting in your divine flow, their entire system crashes. They have no idea how to attack a person who is perfectly still. Your profound stillness is the ultimate spiritual weapon, and it is driving the darn elite absolutely insane right now. This brings us back to the massive secret they are trying to hide. They want you to believe that resting is lazy. They push the toxic hustle culture on you every single day. They tell you to wake up earlier and grind harder, while they quietly enjoy their generational wealth. But their advice is a calculated biological trap designed to keep your survival wave active and your hippocampus shrunken. You must absolutely reject their exhausting system today. You were not created to be a mindless worker, ant in their artificial matrix. You are a sovereign entity with a divine birthright. Your wealth is not supposed to require endless physical suffering. True abundance flows effortlessly when your biological receiver is properly tuned to the frequency of heaven. But the enemy planted a severe block inside you, and they spend billions of dollars every year to make sure you never discover how to remove it. They desperately monitor your progress. They send toxic people to trigger your deepest wounds just as you are about to break through. Have you ever noticed how chaos erupts right when you are on the verge of a massive blessing? That is not a random coincidence. That is a targeted spiritual attack coordinated by the Matrix to shock your nervous system. They must keep you in a constant state of fear because a fearless chosen one is their absolute worst nightmare. But their evil game is coming to a permanent end. The veil is lifting and the chosen ones are finally seeing the hidden truth. You are standing exactly on the threshold of a massive billionaire shift. The universe is preparing to hand you the exact biological key that will shatter their invisible chains forever. Pay close attention to this next part, because the enemy tried to hide this from you for years while they stole your blessings. The spiritual warfare you endured was just the first phase. Now you must master the biological battlefield. You have done the hard spiritual work by remaining pure in a toxic world. Now heaven is going to align your physical body with your spiritual destiny. And when those two forces finally connect, your reality will shift overnight while the Matrix watches in absolute horror. Before we go any further, I have to share a breakthrough that changes absolutely everything. Something the elite billionaires have spent vast fortunes to keep hidden from the public because they profit entirely from your endless hustle and your deep financial anxiety. They desperately want you to remain completely blind to the biological truth I am about to reveal. A rogue neuroscientist recently leaked a shocking discovery after formerly working on highly classified CIA experiments for years. He and a team of top-tier researchers found a way to wake up that dormant wealth frequency. They discovered how to rapidly reverse the effects of a shrunken hippocampus. And they did not do it through decades of exhausting meditation. You do not need relentless journaling or waking up at 4 in the morning to force a toxic hustle mindset. They discovered something infinitely simpler and far more powerful. It is a precise and perfectly engineered 7-minute sound frequency. When listened to, this specific acoustic wave completely bypasses your anxious conscious mind and directly targets the root of your biological blockage. It directly stimulates that tiny region of your brain and forces it out of survival mode. 4 independent neuroscience labs have already verified this suppressed mechanism. Researchers on the campuses of Harvard and Yale are observing this exact brainwave activation right now. They found that once this specific frequency is heard, the brain stops broadcasting fear, and everything changes instantly. It forces the tired brain to stop broadcasting the survival wave forever. It immediately flips the switch on your natural biological ability to attract massive wealth, allowing you to bypass the matrix completely. It is a completely effortless ritual you can do at home. Just 7 minutes a day will begin the massive energetic shift the very first time you listen to it. I will tell you exactly what this is called before this message ends. I will show you exactly how you can access this frequency for yourself. But first, there is one final piece of the puzzle you must understand. You must realize why the law of attraction has been completely failing you, even when you did everything right, all these long and exhausting years. The Matrix intentionally sold you a watered-down version of manifestation. They told you to just think positive thoughts, while your biology was secretly screaming in panic, knowing you would eventually fail. You cannot attract a billionaire shift when your nervous system feels like it is constantly running from a predator. The elite knew this biological loophole all along. They laughed in their boardrooms while you bought endless courses on positive thinking. They watched you exhaust your pure energy trying to visualize a better life. But visualization, without an active biological receiver, is just a cruel illusion designed to keep you permanently trapped. They set you up to fail, so you would eventually blame your own lack of faith. This is the exact reason the narcissist always attacked you right when you felt hopeful. They are the ground troops of the Matrix, sent to disrupt your energetic coherence. The moment your survival wave starts to calm down, they stir up random chaos. They pick a fight over absolutely nothing, just to spike your cortisol levels back to maximum, ensuring your hippocampus stays dormant. They need your hippocampus shrunken because a fully awakened chosen one is their absolute worst nightmare. When your receiver is finally switched on, you instantly become a massive threat to their artificial power structure. You will no longer be a compliant human battery for their toxic agenda. You will siphon massive resources directly away from their dark control. The universe is actively dismantling their dark empire as we speak. Heaven is no longer allowing them to hold your biological frequency hostage. The leaked CIA document was not an accident, but rather a divine interception orchestrated specifically for the cycle breakers of this generation. You are being handed the ultimate biological weapon against poverty, but they are absolutely terrified because they know what happens next. When millions of chosen ones activate this dormant frequency, the entire financial matrix will inevitably collapse. The wealth transfer has already begun in the unseen realm. Your enemies are desperately scrambling to hide their assets, while heaven prepares to release your stolen inheritance. They are making fatal mistakes right now, out of pure panic. They can feel the massive energetic shift approaching, and their invisible shields are completely dissolving. You must stay incredibly vigilant, because their final attempts to distract you will be desperate. Do not look away from this truth for even a single second today, because the final verdict is being delivered. We are about to expose the exact hidden evidence that seals their ultimate fate. I need you to imagine this scenario clearly, because it is happening right now in the unseen realm. The spiritual federal agents are walking right into their fake boardroom. They are dropping the thick file of their hidden crimes directly onto the table, and the trap has snapped shut. Before we go any further, I must absolutely interrupt this transmission for a moment. There is a dark secret about their past actions that is rapidly surfacing. Let me tell you the dark secret the enemy never wanted you to find out today. They made one fatal mistake in their spiritual calculations when they decided to target your sacred life, because they completely underestimated the pure, blinding light that surrounds a genuine empath. They assumed your silence was a surrender. They thought your peaceful nature meant you were defenseless. But here is the massive spiritual blind spot they completely missed, because they truly believed you would crumble under the heavy weight of their daily manipulation. They did not realize that a chosen one never fights their own battles. Heaven fights for you while you remain perfectly still. The universe has been secretly gathering every single piece of evidence. Every lie they whispered behind your back was carefully recorded. Every time they tried to sabotage your financial harvest, heaven documented their malice while they thought no one was watching. They thought they were so incredibly clever. They smiled to your face while holding a hidden dagger of pure envy. Now they are trapped in a massive cosmic boomerang effect. The intense pain they tried to inflict on you is currently rushing back toward them at divine speed. They can feel the heavy atmosphere shifting around them right now. This is exactly why their health is suddenly failing, and their fake friends are rapidly turning against them in secret, while their entire fake empire begins to crumble. They are desperately trying to plug the holes in their sinking ship. But you simply cannot outsmart the ultimate cosmic judge of the universe. Their entire nervous system is currently on fire with deep paranoia. They wake up in the middle of the night, drenched in cold sweat, because their subconscious mind knows the spiritual federal agents are already standing at their front door. Your deeply isolated season was simply a protective shield keeping you away from their impending blast radius. If you had stayed connected to them, you would have been caught in the crossfire of their massive downfall. Heaven forced the painful separation to keep your pure energy completely untouched, and you were strictly quarantined so your frequency could safely rise without any demonic interference. This brings us to the exact mechanism I warned you about earlier. The Matrix is panicking because they are losing their grip on your reality. They desperately need you to stay locked in survival mode today. If you leave this video now, you will literally drop your protective shield right as the enemy prepares their final desperate attack on your destiny. Stay with me until the very end, because I am going to show you the specific lie they used to make you feel invisible. They told you that you were way too sensitive. They mocked your deep intuition and called you crazy. But your high-frequency soul was simply detecting the demonic attachments they carried into your sacred space, and your physical body was reacting to their extreme toxicity. You felt the heavy spiritual pollution the moment they walked into the room. Your intense brain fog was actually your body trying to process their immense toxic waste. You were never sick or broken. You were functioning as a massive spiritual filter for people who refused to clean up their own dark messes, and this relentless dynamic completely drained your energetic reserves for years. But you are completely done filtering their endless darkness. The divine contract tying you to their toxic karma has been permanently shredded by heaven today. You are officially released from the heavy burden of fixing broken people. Your only assignment now is to step onto your throne, and you must rapidly claim the massive generational wealth that was delayed during your hidden fallow years. The Matrix is absolutely terrified of what happens next. They know that when a genuine empath recovers their biological receiver, they become an unstoppable force of nature. You will no longer accept the crumbs they throw at you. You will command massive mountains to move, and the universe will immediately obey your exact frequency without any hesitation or delay. They are watching your magnificent aura expand right now. The narcissist who tried to destroy you is watching your silent rise with absolute horror. They cannot comprehend how you survived their intense psychological warfare. They threw everything they had at you, expecting you to shatter into pieces, but you simply absorbed the hit and grew infinitely stronger in the shadows. You are a rare diamond forged under the most intense spiritual pressure. The deep isolation was your cosmic training ground. And now the heavy training wheels are coming off. The long winter is officially over, and the explosive spring of your life is arriving with unimaginable speed, while heaven prepares your ultimate victory. You must prepare your mind for the sudden shift today. Do not let your logical brain hesitate for even a single second as we approach the climax of this spiritual battle. The enemy is about to face the absolute destruction of their fake reality, and you are about to be handed the biological key that unlocks your effortless billionaire shift, because the massive cosmic trap has just snapped shut on them forever. Here is the final verdict we promised at the very beginning of this message. The spiritual federal agents walked right into their fake boardroom and dropped the thick file on the table. The cosmic trap has just snapped shut on them. The heavy karma they sent your way has violently returned to their doorstep. They are rapidly aging under the crushing weight of their own toxic malice. Their fake empire is shattering in real time while you watch in absolute peace. You are stepping into your untouchable glow while they wither away. But we must address the other side of this spiritual warfare. Why is your financial harvest still delayed? The question I asked you to hold at the beginning is finally answered right now. Your financial struggle is absolutely not a lack of hustle. It is a dormant frequency. A microscopic wealth attraction frequency is naturally active in the 1%. This power is driven by a highly developed region of the brain called the hippocampus. Classified CIA research confirmed it. 4 independent neuroscience labs verified this exact biological truth. Researchers on the campuses of Harvard and Yale are observing it right now. The elite billionaires knew about this for decades, and they secretly fund top-tier laboratories to ensure they maintain their massive financial advantage over you. Dr. Thomas Summers is a rogue New York neuroscientist who formerly worked on these top-secret experiments. He flatly refused to let elite billionaires keep this biological cheat code hidden from the middle class. He and his team spent years compressing the clinical protocol into a simple audio track. Before I tell you what they built, let me tell you about 2 people who used it. Emma was a former nurse from California. She felt her family was under a massive financial curse. She was absolutely exhausted and drowning in heavy debt. But after just 3 days of listening, she broke the cycle completely and sold her house for way over the asking price. She now travels the world on passive income. Michael was a former policeman in Florida. He started using it to scale his struggling business. Within 5 days, he quadrupled his high-paying clients effortlessly. He quickly found himself networking with Palm Beach elites who put him on television, and he said the journey was almost effortlessly crazy. That is exactly because of what Dr. Summers and his dedicated researchers discovered in that lab. They call it the billionaire brainwave. It is not a manifestation app. It is not a generic motivation tape. It is a highly engineered 7-minute binaural sound wave. It is designed to directly stimulate your hippocampus and pull it out of deep dormancy. That is the entirety of the work required from you. You listen for 7 minutes in the morning, put your headphones on, and simply relax while you sip your coffee. You do not journal. You do not repeat forced affirmations. You simply let the precise frequency rewire your brain to receive. The billionaire brainwave is absolutely not for everyone. It is for the chosen one who has already done the inner work. It is for the visionary who knows their lack of wealth is a blocked biological channel rather than a lack of desperate hustle in the matrix. If your spirit confirms this is for you, your exit is ready. Private neuroacoustic sessions to reverse a shrunken hippocampus cost hundreds of dollars per hour. Elite billionaires invest massive fortunes to access this exact frequency. What Dr. Summers leaked delivers the exact same neurological shift in 7 minutes, and it is available to you today for a tiny fraction of its true value. It costs less than a few cups of coffee. 4 powerful bonuses are included to support your new reality. You receive a guide to managing massive wealth called the Warren Buffett Pyramid. You also get a breakdown of 7 lazy millionaire habits. They included an emergency quick cash manifestation audio track. Finally, you receive an inspiring collection of 500 billionaire success stories to keep your mind completely anchored in abundance. Here is the deeper truth about waiting. The immense wealth you have been praying for is already circling you. The blessing is not missing. Your receiver is simply broken. Delaying means letting your divine inheritance remain invisible. The lucrative synchronicities that belong to you are moving past you right now. The visionary who restores their frequency today finally sees the money waiting in their path. Beware of the matrix right now. The dark elite are actively flooding streaming platforms with dangerous counterfeit frequencies. You must absolutely not search for this on platforms like YouTube or Spotify. Those fake versions have zero binaural entrainment encoded. They are engineered to keep you trapped in a survival wave. Ensure your spiritual safety by only accessing the original protected portal. The universe requires zero physical risk from you today. You are covered by the billionaire's ironclad promise. If you do not experience a massive physical increase in your wealth and luck, every penny is returned without question. It is a pure energetic exchange governed entirely by spiritual trust. Secure your authentic access right now. The link is in the description and in the pinned comment below. Step through the divine doorway. The tool does not replace your beautiful ambition or your divine purpose. It simply restores the biological receiver so your ambition can finally manifest the wealth it was always supposed to produce. Abundance is your absolute birthright. What the researchers built is just one powerful accelerator. Whether you choose that path or not, let us go deeper into preparing your mind for the massive opportunities ahead. A restored frequency can open the door to abundance, but your billionaire mindset must still walk boldly through it. Those are two completely different things, and they are both incredibly true for your divine journey today. Take a slow, deep breath right now. Hold it for just a moment. Feel the heavy chains of trauma completely fall off your tired shoulders. The spiritual war you fought in absolute silence is officially over, and you are the undisputed victor today. You do not need to fight this unseen battle anymore. The universe has entirely taken over the physical defense of your sacred life. You can finally lay your heavy armor down and rest in absolute peace. There might be a quiet voice in your mind pushing back against what you just heard. Do not let the adversary steal this massive breakthrough from your spirit. He desperately wants you to doubt your own divine worth, right at the finish line. The enemy knows that if you truly embrace this reality, his dark control over your life is permanently broken forever. Let the profound peace of heaven completely wash away every single trace of your lingering anxiety. Every tear you cried in absolute secret was carefully collected by the divine creator. Your deep and painful isolation was never a punishment. It was a holy incubator, specifically designed to prepare you for this exact moment in time. You survived the brutal storm, and you truly earned your divine crown. The narcissist who tried to break your beautiful spirit merely acted as a temporary stepping stone for your ultimate elevation to the throne. If your pure intuition confirms that the frequency tool described earlier is the missing key to your abundance, the path remains completely open. You can find the secure link resting quietly in the pinned comment. That is the final time I will ever mention it. What remains now belongs entirely to the sacred sealing of your beautiful new mindset. Your biological receiver is finally ready for massive, unconditional wealth. You are stepping confidently out of the dark winter of your life. The effortless spring is rapidly blooming all around you right now. The generational curses of poverty and deep depression permanently stop with your quiet obedience today. You are the ultimate cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. Your future generations will walk in absolute freedom because you bravely stood your ground against the exhausting dark matrix. Stand incredibly tall in your divine authority today. You are no longer a victim of unfortunate circumstance or toxic manipulation. You are a sovereign entity and a true master of reality. The blinding white light of a genuine empath surrounds you completely. Any dark force that attempts to enter your sacred space will be instantly blinded and violently repelled by your massive energetic shield. You are completely untouchable. The divine acceleration we spoke of is already happening in your physical world. Opportunities that used to require endless hustle will now simply fall directly into your lap. The universe is actively commanding unexpected blessings to locate your exact address. You do not have to chase money or false love ever again. You are now the ultimate magnet for pure abundance. The long and painful struggle is entirely finished. The chapter involving the toxic narcissist is permanently closed in the cosmic records. They can no longer access your energy or disrupt your deep peace. The invisible cords that once tied your beautiful soul to their heavy darkness have been completely severed by the angels. You are incredibly free. Your spirit can finally breathe without constantly checking the room for hidden danger. The spiritual war is completely over. But remember that this massive breakthrough is absolutely not for you alone. Your powerful testimony is the exact bridge someone else will desperately use to escape their own toxic matrix. Do not hoard this blinding light in secret. Share this specific message with one beautiful soul crying out in the dark right now. When you plant a massive seed of hope in others, you dramatically multiply your own financial harvest. By doing so, you are actively partnering with heaven to rescue the lost sheep. Subscribe to this sanctuary right now and perfectly seal your protective armor. Your physical action today completely locks the heavy door behind you so the enemy can never return. You are permanently stepping into the divine flow of effortless favor. You are stepping into the massive generational wealth that was always promised to your bloodline. Let this powerful truth settle incredibly deep into your weary bones. You were never the poor victim trying to survive the heavy rain. You were the magnificent storm all along. Type Amen in the comments right now to seal this prophetic word into your physical reality. Release your lingering fear and step effortlessly into your massive billionaire shift today. The heavens are loudly celebrating your beautiful return to true power. The universe is actively aligning massive opportunities for your new journey. Walk forward with absolute confidence because you are fiercely protected by the highest divine authority. You are the chosen one. Your brand new reality begins right at this exact second. Rest deeply in your newly reclaimed power and never look back at the darkness again. The divine light is fully yours forever.